This is KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Greene. Steve Shanley is my guest today, the director of the Cedar Rapids Municipal Band. Steve comes in every couple of weeks during the summer to talk about the CR Muni Band concerts, which take place generally on Wednesdays and Sundays throughout the summer. And after the big patriotic weekend that we just had, now you've got those concerts under your belt and kind of in the back half of the season.
We are. We're heading into the home stretch here in July, and I should give everyone out there a little bit of a preview that near the end of this month, we are going to perform at Nubo. It will be our rare one non-Wednesday, Sunday performance in Cedar Rapids, so that's going to be later this month on a Saturday morning, so keep your eyes open for that. But tonight, we are also in a new venue. We're at Guthridge Park in Hiawatha.
Oh, have you not been to?
We have never been there.
Really?
It's one of those things that we always just sort of assumed, since we were the Cedar Rapids Municipal Band, that we had to perform in Cedar Rapids. And we finally just went ahead and asked the city if we were allowed to perhaps perform in Hiawatha. And they said, well, yes, why wouldn't you? It's up to you to perform where you want.
Okay.
So we thought, great. So, yes, we're looking forward
So hitting the road for 4 miles.
Packing the tour buses and heading all the way over into Hiawatha at Guthridge Park tonight at 7:30. So we're looking forward to that. And we're going to be featuring one of our young artist runners up. His name is Sam Kelly. He's a very fine clarinet player from Linn Mar, and this is part of our Young Artist Competition that we've been doing now for the last 7 years with the municipal band.
So that takes place actually during the school year.
It does.
We
do that right after solo contest in April, and so students show up one night and they all play their solos, and a panel of there's about 10 judges this year. They just kind of rank their top 3. And every year, it's a difficult decision. This year was no exception. And Allison Cagle from Kennedy High School won, but our runners-up were Nathan Langholtz from Kennedy and Sam Kelly on clarinet from Linn Mar. So we're featuring Sam tonight. Looking forward to that. He also plays saxophone quite well. And so I imagine will be involved with Corridor Jazz Project this year as a saxophone player in Linn Mar's band. And then our kind of main featured soloist is Brent Mead, who just graduated from the University of Northern Iowa and is one of those, as I checked around, I like to kind of like you do with the Jazz Festival, I pride myself on finding the people who are eventually going to be big stars and too expensive for me to hire and get them early. And by all accounts, Brent is going to be one of those on the trombone. So we're going to have him in to play the Morceau Symphonique with us. And I'm excited about this because he, a couple of weeks ago, got married to one of my former students, Hannah Lodge, who's from the area here. So he has some ties to Cedar Rapids as well. So we're looking forward to that. And then also, as if that weren't enough, we've got Jay Kahn, who's middle school band director out at Maquoketa, and he did a nice arrangement of a Carl King march called Voice of America, which is kind of lesser-known march, and he got that arranged, and so we're having him in to guest conduct for that. And as it turns out, his mother's going to be in town for that, so it's going to be a great evening all around. Good variety for everyone. And for those of you classical fans out there, we're playing some Shostakovich folk dances as well. So that's tonight, Guthridge Park at 7:30, and then this Sunday, July 9th, at Bever Park at 7:30 as well.
And then next week, it's the Jugglers.
Next week, we got the Jugglers in town, yeah. So a week from tonight, we're back at Greene Square Park, 7:30 on Wednesday, July 12th. And the Jugglers are going to perform a prelude concert. They are in town. It's the International, I believe.
Cedar Rapids is hosting the International Jugglers Convention.
International Jugglers Convention, which I believe starts this coming Tuesday. And on Wednesday, they're going to perform a prelude sort of act before the municipal band at about 6:30, a week from tonight at Greene Square Park. And then we are going to feature them with us during the concert as well on one of our pieces. kind of a jump swing sort of medley that they're going to juggle along with as well. So that will be fun. And also next week is, I think it typically ends up being my favorite week of the season. It's when we feature the musicians in the band. We have these outside musicians that come in and play with the group every week that we like to feature, but there are so many talented musicians in the band who are worthy of soloing that I've done 3 a year basically now for 7 years, and I'm still, I haven't run out yet. So this week we've got again, 3 wonderful players. Joel Nagel, who is the band director of Washington High School and fine trombone player, principal trombone player in the band. He's going to play. And Laura Saylor, kind of newer to the area, on trumpet. Fabulous trumpet player, joined the band a couple of years ago as well. You might recognize her work with the Eastern Iowa Brass Band. She plays in solos with them quite frequently. And then Thiago, I'm going to need to learn how to pronounce his last name before I introduce him to the audience tonight. But Thiago's from Brazil and has been at the University of Iowa doing graduate work. And I say this with no hyperbole, might be one of the finest musicians I have ever worked with. This guy can read. And you've
worked with just a few.
I've worked with a few, and he can read anything, and he can play so musically, and he makes it so much fun, and he's just such a wonderful
What does he play?
He plays the clarinet.
Okay.
Plays the clarinet very well. So he's got some fun music that Kevin Castens from University of Iowa arranged for band, and the audience is gonna love that.
It probably is worth noting. We don't talk about this a lot because I think we just take the quality for granted. But around the Iowa and around the country, when you say community bands, there may be a perception, especially if somebody from a smaller town, that it's just some people who get together, to enjoy themselves and play music, and that's just, it's in the experience. But the Cedar Rapids Municipal Band has had a reputation for being a very high musical caliber. These slots don't come open very often, and when they do, there is intense competition from seasoned musicians to get these slots when they become available. It is the musicianship in the band is very high.
It is. I mean, they do get paid, but every one of these people could make more money just teaching private lessons at their house every night. So they get paid, but not what they're worth. And so for them, they love it. They come in and they like making music together, and they like the performing, and I think they like being able to give back to the community. And we are so lucky here in Cedar Rapids. And those bands, the bands where it's kind of a community non-paid thing where they get together and have fun, those are really important too. And I love those, and I love that that's an important part of Iowa. But you bring up a good point that if you are looking for free entertainment where you can bring your kids and they can maybe make some noise, or you can spill some food or drink and not get looked at, you're not going to find anything better than this. It's an impressive collection of musicians, and I'm honored to work with them every week.
So this week in Guthridge Park and Bever Park, and then a week from tonight will be the Jugglers at Greene Square. Now, you repeat that concert then the following Sunday, yes, but probably sans Jugglers.
Yes, no Jugglers, same music.
Okay, so if you want to see the Jugglers, you want to come a week from tonight to Greene Square Park downtown. Yes. So again, if people want to take another look at this, to plan their outing to come and see the band, or if they want to maybe double-check the schedule if the weather looks iffy, they can visit your website, which is
crmuniband.org, or if you just type Cedar Rapids Band into Google, will probably be the first hit. Also on Facebook and on Twitter.
And Twitter is probably a good place to follow the band on Twitter for the weather cancellation.
Correct.